What's going on, guys? Welcome to our podcast, Walking Manifestator. I am your host, Alexa Peña, and in this podcast, I am on one mission and one mission only, and that is going to help you awaken your truest and highest self. Embrace and embody your true power and help you elevate to a completely new consciousness. A transformational journey with the Walking Manifestator you are born to be. The path to create our ideal life. And I want to start off by a quote that I think is really called for in this conversation, which is, faith by itself without works is dead. And why I believe it's important for us to get into this is because a lot of the times, the reason why we believe that our manifestations are not happening, why we believe things are not getting better, why we believe everything is falling to pieces, is because we actually don't realize that we're sitting on the corners, in the sidelines, hoping for everything to change, but yet we're not taking any accountability to make things change. In today's conversation, I am going to be sharing with you 6 major principles that have allowed me to really change my life. Some of these principles I feel that I have down to a pretty good understanding, and others I am still struggling myself with. I am still changing my vocabulary around them because sometimes even the word "it's hard" makes things hard. So I try to really say it's a challenge, it's something that I haven't done before, it's something new. And some of these are things that I'm learning to really incorporate in my life. Because if anybody is telling you that they're perfect, as we've mentioned before, you should run the other way. None of us have a blueprint to this life that is just going to be without any turbulence. Any sign of turbulence is actually a good sign that we're growing, that we're evolving, that we're becoming a better version of ourselves. So in these 6 things that we're going to dive into, I'm going to make it very clear for you to see that a life that is actually worth living, a life that actually feels like it's our ideal life, even when things are not always going perfect, is actually very attainable. Now, the first thing I want to get into is gain clarity. I want you to really ask yourself, what do you really want out of life? And when you answer this question, I don't want it to just be from a perspective of, I want a nice house, Alexa. I want a nice car. I want a partner. I want a kid. What is it that you want and why do you want it? I learned this a while ago, and it's that you want to go at least 7 layers deep of why that why is. So if you say, well, I want more abundance. Okay, why do you want more abundance? Well, because I want to provide for my family. Well, why do you want to provide for your family? Well, because by providing for my family, I feel like I'm worthy. And why does that make you feel like you're worthy? Well, because if I'm not providing for my family, I feel like I'm not worthy, and I feel like I don't really deserve to be in this family because nobody's really going to look at me as somebody that is providing value. And as you continue to go down the road of why do you want the thing, it's very easy for you to get to the point where you understand why you really want the thing beyond the surface, beyond what you perceive as being the reason for why you want the thing. And I'll give myself as an example. For the longest time, I believed that making more money was going to help me feel more peace, more happiness. And it's crazy to me because the more money that I've made, I've realized that internally I've had this belief that everything is on me. And because I feel like everything is on me, and because I feel that things are really, challenging sometimes, and because I feel like I need to be the provider, head of household, because I have to do X, Y, and Z, I get in this mindset that is not beneficial for anybody. It's not beneficial for the people that I care about. It's not beneficial for myself because it makes me feel angry when I actually should be thankful for the fact that I have more blessings because I'm able to pay it forward. I'm able to do more things. Just today, my grandmother was telling me a story of a family member, and I don't typically like to get in the drama of my family because I feel that there's certain people that you should just cut out of your life. And that's kind of what I've done in my life with certain people that I've given the benefit of the doubt. And I've done what, the Bible says, turn the other cheek. But then there's certain people that you just need to put like a boundary on and just keep them at a distance. And she was telling me a story. A family member is treating their ex-partner very, very badly, to the point where essentially this person has kicked the family member out of the house. They're destroying like property that belongs to the other person, and they're just being very vicious and very vindictive. And it's sad for me to see that. And I offer to actually help this other person that is actually not my real blood. But because I'm seeing how my real blood is actually treating this other person, I was like, you know what? I am going to help this person. And because I have more money, because I have more of this abundance, I see it as a tool. And I see it that because I've gotten clarity on why I do the things that I do, which at the end of the day, my goal now in life is to genuinely give back, and to continue to grow. Those are my big striving forces in my life. It's not to continue to get more nice, shiny things. It's not to continue to get more people to like me. It's not to continue to do anything other than to grow and to give back. That's why I do these conversations. That's why I do these podcasts. That's why I'm so passionate about posting on my TikTok every single day. Yeah, there's some days that I slack it, but for the most part, I'm very consistent on posting because that's my way, one of my ways at least, to give back. And why am I saying this to you is because if you don't have clarity on why you're doing the things that you're doing, you're always going to be in circles, and you're going to be doing like an infinity symbol. It's going to be this 8 that is going to feel like you never really get out of. Now, once you understand and you actually practice bringing awareness to this reason of why you like the things that you like, this is really where you need to understand your paradigm. And the reason why I always talk about paradigm, and Bob Proctor talks about this, Neville Goddard talks about this, Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this in the book, You Are the Alchemist, it talks about this. What you need to understand is that your paradigm is literally what creates your reality. And especially right now, with all the things that are happening in the world, with all the shit that is hitting the fan, I need you to understand that if you focus on everything that is going wrong, you're only going to attract more of this negativity to your life. You're only going to attract more lack into your life. And why I say this is because they, meaning the elites, meaning the 1% that we don't know, that we hear about, that we kind of know, control a lot of these bigger plays in the world, they want you to focus on lack. They want you to focus on not having power, on not having a voice. And I'm not trying to go into this whole conspiracy theory with you guys, which I will say I am going to be changing a lot of my style and just being more open, even more open than I've been in the past. I am a big conspiracy theorist. I love seeing how certain things have been hidden from us. I'm also a person that is very realistic, and I understand that there are certain things that it's like, okay, let it go, Alexa. Don't keep going down that rabbit hole because it's just going to take your energy away. But why I feel obligated to talk about this is because when you understand that your paradigm is controlled by a series of events that have essentially molded you to be who you are, what do you like? What do you not like? All of that has been actually created by people that have influence over you, or by things that you allowed to have influence over you. Let's say you like, and I'm just going to throw out a name. I've never actually watched their shows. Like, it's just never been something that I really grew up with, especially because when I was younger, I didn't have internet. And then when I actually got internet, at that point, like, they already had a big name for themselves. But a lot of girls follow the Kardashians, right? A lot of girls like the Kim Kardashians and all that kind of stuff. And for me, if they're telling you that consumerism is the way to go, right? And they're living in this lifestyle of acquire more and get more and get more, and the houses and the cars, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I'm not sitting here and saying that I want to live in a, little 2x2 storage and have nothing of abundance. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that what ends up happening is that these people that show you a certain lifestyle, they brainwash you to believe that you need these things, that you need to have them in order for you to have happiness. And I'm going to try and make this point as clear as possible because it goes into the next 5 points that I'm going to address. But if you really understand that your paradigm is directly correlated to the people that have influenced you, the things that you don't really understand why you like them to begin with. Once you start questioning them, like, why do you like that? Once you start understanding that there's a deeper level of awareness there, this is where everything changes for you, because now you understand, holy shit, I didn't even realize that I didn't like that thing. But because society has made me believe that I like that thing, I want that thing. Maybe for you, it's you don't want kids, right? And society is making you feel like, no, you need to have kids in order for you to be happy. But what if deep down inside, you actually don't want kids? And your way of giving back is actually to adopt a kid later down the road, or just continue to be in like nonprofit organizations where you're helping kids that are struggling, that are, abused, all these things that you can actually give back through. But because society has told you you need to have kids in order for you to be successful, in order for you to be happy, you are now indoctrinated into that belief. Maybe it's getting married. Right? A lot of people sometimes think like, oh, I need to get married in order for me to be happy. But the truth is that if you actually can't feel like the person that you're partnering up with actually has your back, and you're actually growing together, and you're, creating this empire together, like, why in the world would you just get married with some guy or some girl that's going to be a leech and just take from you? Like, why would you do that just because of what society is making you believe is worthy or not worthy? So that's the first thing, like, get clarity. The second thing is the power of perspective. And I really want you to understand like what that means, because the power of perspective is understanding that even though right now you might feel like things are falling apart, even though right now you might feel like, Alexa, things are really not where I wish they were, you need to understand that there's people out there that have it way worse than you. And this is not about dismissing your emotions. This is not about dismissing how you are going through some turbulent times, and how, maybe one of your family members was deported, or how maybe you yourself are facing some crazy charges or situations that are happening in your life. It's not about dismissing. But what I'm trying to share with you, and this is the stuff that when I've gone through some of the strongest and hardest parts of my life, these are the things that I wish I would have understood then, that I had to understand later. But at that time, it felt so much easier to leave than to live. And I want you to really catch my drift there. It felt easier to leave this planet than to live. And that's why I attempted the things that I attempted. Because for me, I felt so miserable. I felt so out of alignment. And maybe for you, you feel like you're in that boat right now. You feel like things are hitting the fan. You feel like you're not a provider. You feel like you're not providing enough. You feel like things are crumbling. And you need to understand that the power of perspective is so important in this journey of yours, because once you understand that, you can say, you know what? Maybe I don't have extra money after every paycheck, but I have enough money to pay my bills. Like just the other day, I was covering some of my bills. I was taking care of some of my stuff. And it's crazy to me because I literally, and this is just to give you perspective, like what I used to make in a year, I make in a month, right? Like I literally made what I used to make in a year. I made it in 1 month. And I'm here sitting down looking at my bills, and I was like, oh, like I need to pay my electric, I need to pay my water, and then I need to pay for the Airbnb, I need to pay some of the things because the bookings weren't as good this month. And I started complaining, and then I caught myself and I was like, you know what? No, like you get to pay these things, Alexa. You get to buy these things. You don't have to. You could go and live in the boonies and become a person that is just begging for money. And you don't have to do any of these things. You get to do every single one of these things. So gaining that perspective is so important in your life. And I need you to really understand how good you really have it. And this is really where you need to understand that somebody else having more success than you, quote unquote, whatever that means, because you also don't know what success means for them. Like success for them could be, oh, I just have a lot of money, but they're like miserable and their family is falling apart and their husband or their wife or whatever the situation is cheating on them or abusing them or whatnot. right? So you really don't know. But let's just assume that you're comparing yourself to Keeping Up with the Jones and them having this perfect life that you look from the outside looking in, it looks perfect. Well, guess what? Their life doesn't necessarily have to be perfect. And by you being jealous or envious of them, what you're doing is that you're literally attracting a lower vibration to your life. You are literally attracting more scarcity into your life, which is actually making it harder for you to manifest and to really go to the next level. Number 3 here on my notes is I need you to learn how to take aligned action. And when I say take aligned action, this is what I mean by this, okay? A lot of the times we want more abundance, right? We want to live this like beautiful life and manifest easy, but yet we haven't actually looked at the finances. Like I've done this, and this is why I'm saying some of them I'm still working through. But for me, at a certain point in my life, I was so consumed with wanting the nice house and wanting the nice car and wanting the nice outfits and wanting the nice purse. I remember one of my coaches once told me, I told them that I bought a almost $15,000 purse, and they were just looking at me. And this guy is like a multi-billionaire, right? So he's literally looking at me and telling me like, you spend how much on that purse? And I was like, well, it's a really nice purse. And he's just like, you know how much money you could have put into like your IUL, or you could have put into an investment property, but you just spent that on a purse. And honestly, when he said it to me at that time, I was kind of like, oh, whatever, you just don't understand. I'm abundance, baby. I can manifest that back. But the truth is that that purse right now, if I'm being completely honest with you, that purse is in my closet and I have not used it. So why am I telling you this? Because a lot of the times, and this is why it goes down to us talking about taking aligned action, if you want to create a generational wealth, if you want to create more abundance in your life, if you want to create that life that you really can call freedom, because the reason why we want the money is not because we want more paper in our bank account. The reason why we want more freedom is because of what freedom actually, the freedom actually gives us. Right? So the money gives us more freedom, and the freedom gives us the ability to be able to take care of our kids and pick them up from school. The freedom to actually be able to say no to things that don't go in alignment with us. The freedom to say, no, I'm not interested in whatever it is that you're forcing me or trying to force me to do, because actually I have more than enough money for me to provide for myself. Like I've had idiots online that text me or send me like messages, and they're like, hey, I'll send you $1,000 for photos. And first of all, I block them. I used to like want to put them on blast, but I'm like, you know what? This guy just wants attention, and he's not worth my time or energy. So now I just block them, and I just like pray for them, because I'm like, man, like that's so sad, because I know that there's people out there, there's girls out there that they're actually sending those messages to, that are replying with their precious body. And for me, when I tell you that you need to take aligned action, it's okay, how can I clean up my shit? How can I look at my bank account? Like I recently got this, Monarch is the name of it. It's like this platform where you essentially put all of your accounts, like every single one of your accounts, from like your investments to like your checking accounts and your payments that you make. And it literally shows you how much money is coming in and how much money is going out. And as a visual person myself, that thing scared me. I was like, holy moly, I have a lot of those little arrows going out. Like I need more arrows coming in. So this is really where you want to take aligned action with your end result. Like if you want to create more freedom, more financial freedom for you and your family, you need to take accountability, and you need to take a long look at your finances to see where you can eliminate some of the things that are not really serving you. And also that goes hand in hand with investing in yourself. One of the best things that I've done for myself is take this mindset of personal development. I know there's a lot of people that like bash on personal development. They're like, oh, you're just a personal development junkie. Like you're always just, learning new things. And oh, that's so like silly. Why are you spending $5,000 on a course? Like that's so dumb. For me, that's not dumb. For me, that's actually what helps me continue to grow and allows me to like genuinely see different perspectives in life. I'm like in awe, because right now I'm actually reading one of the little notes that my son made for me at school that says all about my mom. And on one of the sections, it says, to basically talk about, it says, my mom's favorite way to relax is, and he added here, meditating, sleeping, listening to her podcast. And I was like, oh my gosh, like he sees me and he sees that I am growing. Like for him, my podcast has anything to do with something that I'm learning. So if I'm like listening to a course, he automatically assumes that that's a podcast. And I just thought that was so beautiful because your kids are watching. And maybe even if you don't have kids and you're like, well, I have my dog here and I don't really have anybody that's like caring about me. Well, you know what? You need to be that person that cares about you because you are the biggest investment that you have. You are the biggest asset that you have. And honestly, there is no amount of time that is going to get you back what you could have learned in maybe, 6 months that you paid a course that taught you that information that took them years to learn, but you're like, no, I'm going to save that money and I'm not going to get on that course because then I'm spending more money and I'd rather just keep it. That money is literally burning a hole because it is not growing. But the money that you invest in yourself, it is always going to return to you. Now, another thing here on my path step number 4 is what do we do when we get stressed? What do we do when we freak out? What do we do when we feel like the sky is falling? What do we do when we feel very overwhelmed? You need to practice how to breathe. You need to practice how to just take a deep breath. Literally, like, do it with me right now. Just like hold it for 4 seconds and then release for 4 seconds. Do that as many times as you need in order for you to calm your nervous system down. I am telling you, it is one of the best things when I feel like I am about to explode, when I feel like I'm about to catch a case, when I feel like I'm about to say something that's out of line. I'm like, I need to take a deep breath. And when somebody keeps poking at me and they don't respect that I say, hey, I need to take a deep breath, I honestly will just walk away. I just walk away because I'm like, no, I'm not going to go out of line because I've done it and I've stayed and I've said things that then later I regret. And then I'm like, man, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have acted that way. So you're just taking a breather and saying, you know what? I'm going to get out of survival. I'm going to get out of this mindset. I'm going to take a breather. I'm going to take a walk. I love you. I will be back, whether it's for your kids, whether it's for your mom, whether it's for your dad, whether it's for your significant other, whatever. Take a pause to really just breathe and come back to reality. Number 5 is I need you to raise your standards. And this is just my own perspective. Like I said, I'm sharing with you the things that have been helping me. So this is not about me telling you what to do. You're smart. You're an adult. You know what's good for you. I'm just sharing things that have helped me get to a point where I feel more happy, more satisfied with my life. And it is not perfect because I'm not perfect. I'm a human. But it's about how are we growing every single day. And raising my standards is one of those things that really has helped me. There are certain things in life that I just don't tolerate anymore. Like if you cheat on me and we're in a relationship, you're done. You're gone. Bye. I wish the best for you. If you, if you're a friend and you yell at me, you're done. You're cut out. Bye. One of my coaches, JV coach, if you haven't seen his content, I highly recommend you check it out. But he says, I'm like a samurai sword. Samurai, cut out of your life. And honestly, that's how I feel. Like if you go out of line, like there's this one client that I recently helped. He's married or in a relationship. And he was basically like hitting on me. And he was like saying comments that were geared around how he doesn't like his wife and how the wife isn't really helping him and how financially, they have a little daughter together and how it's just on him. And he's like over here telling me all these things. I lost all the respect that I had for him. All the respect. Like I haven't even gotten him a closing gift because I honestly didn't even want to go and like talk to him again. Like I'm just like, no, samurai sword, bye, you're gone. Because for me, if that's who you are as a person, like you coming and flirting with me while you have a relationship, that speaks very poorly of you. And those are just boundaries and standards that I have. And some people are not going to agree with it. Some people are going to agree with it. And honestly, I don't care. I don't care if you agree with it or not, because for me, I am not going to change my standards to lower my standards to what you believe is healthy or what you believe is acceptable. So if you can raise your standards and stop being like the side chick for somebody, stop being the side guy for a girl that doesn't really love you and value you, and just have pure commitment for you and your word. There's been times that I don't go to the gym and I get so disappointed in myself. Like literally, I get so disappointed and I'm like, oh my God, like you let me down, Alexa. Like, why didn't you go to the gym? And then the next day I'm just like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to make it right. I'm going to go and I'm going to show up for myself. Don't ponder and don't dwell over what you didn't do, the shoulda, woulda, coulda. Just move forward, set new boundaries, and follow them. It's that simple. There's not this like hidden recipe that's going to make you glow up. You show up, and you glow up. Now, the last one I'm going to leave you with, because we're about to hit our 30-minute mark and I've been trying to make these shorter for you guys. But the last one is life is a gift. And I really need you to understand that you deserve to celebrate the little moments. You deserve to celebrate, but you also, this is just my own 2 cents, okay? You should be giving back. I promise you, I don't know how to explain it to you other than God has a way to multiply everything that you give with an open heart. Every single time that I've given with an open heart, every single time that I've helped somebody with an open heart, every single time that I've done something with an open heart, expecting nothing in return, God always provides. God always provides. There was this one property that I really needed to sell. And it's so crazy because after I did the whole event for the kids, if you listen to my past podcast in December, on December 20th, we went out to the streets and we were handing out food, we were handing out clothes, we were handing out gifts and candies to the little kids. They were so excited, they were so grateful. And I kid you not, I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to do this to sell a house. No, like I did it because I wanted to, because I know what it's like to not have. I know what it's like to not have food. I know what it's like to not have clothes. I know what it's like. So I was like, you know what? I really want to do this thing. I kid you not. In January, the same house that I have been trying to sell for the past almost 6 months goes under contract. Not only was I able to represent the seller, which was the original contract agreement that I had, God blessed me with also the buyer. The buyer was also needing me to represent them. If you don't see that as like a miracle, if you don't see that as God paying it forward and paying it back, I don't know what to tell you, my friend. But there's just something in the universe that when you put good karma out, good karma comes back to you. And I will say this because I felt this little thought come to me, and those intuitions, I feel like it's God speaking to me. And you have them too, but sometimes you ignore them. But I feel like some of you might be like, Alexa, I do help. But my life is falling apart and I feel so overwhelmed and I feel so consumed. Well, here's the thing, my friend. If you're not embodying this word, if you're just doing it because you're expecting something back, it doesn't work. If you're just doing it, but yet you're still being envious of that other friend that just got the job promotion and you didn't, it doesn't work. When you're genuinely happy for other people, that's when it works. When you're genuinely rooting for other people, that's when it works. And I will tell you, something that's helped me really rewire my brain to be more of a optimist versus a pessimist that I used to be is that every time I judge something or someone, I go back and I look for something positive about them. Like whenever I go to the gym and I see a girl that's like showing all her sugar and everything, typically I like judge that in my mind because I'm like, why are you showing all your stuff? Like, you're so beautiful. Like, why are you showing all of that? And then I'm like, Alexa, don't judge. You're nobody to judge. If she wants to show her freaking boobs in the gym, let her show her boobs in the gym. And then I try to find something nice about her. And I'm like, oh, I really like her hair. Or, oh, I really like that tattoo. I do it and I do an active effort to rewire that thought so that in my mind, instead of me going straight to the negative every single time, which is as humans, that's what we're wired to do. We think of the negative first, and then because we're in survival, it just kind of spirals. What I do now is I look at the thing, and if I judge something, I right away go and I find 2 things that I like about that person or that situation. It's really been a game changer for me, and it's really helped me really just be in this mindset of appreciation and love and abundance. And I am telling you, whoever is watching, whether you believe in God, universe, whatever you believe in, I believe everything is the same. I believe everything is connected. I believe that God literally sent Jesus Christ to show us like the blueprint for what we needed to follow. And we are able to live that life. We are made in his image. So if you can understand these 6 things, I promise you these principles are going to change your life. And if you have any questions or you would like to go deeper into any of the stuff that we talked about today, send me a message. You know where to find me. All my links are down below. My Instagram is linked down below. My TikTok is where I'm most active on. But I just want to say thank you. Thank you for those of you that keep coming back. Every single week I log in to the reports and I see those that are my MVPs, honestly. And you guys are always coming back. And honestly, I just want to say thank you. I love you. And even though I don't know who you are because I don't see your name, I can just see that you guys downloaded the episode. It really means so much to me. It really means so much to me. And I hope that whatever I'm sharing with you is helping you because you're fucking amazing. You're badass and you're so worthy. And God made you for a reason. So stop dimming your light and go out there and be the walking manifestator that you were born to be. I'll talk to you on the next one. Thank you so much for watching yet another episode of Walking Manifestator. And with that being said, I want to remind you, visualize, embody, and transcend. Be the walking manifestator you are born to be.